real estate the rest of the way around the world. It's the Chinese that are propping up most big city markets with these 20 million, 100 million condos, which are just insanely overvalued. Rich people in general, there aren't many places they can park that much money. It's either got to be a Picasso painting or, you know, a $13,000 per square foot condo in Manhattan or something. So this is what's happening everywhere. This real estate bubble globally is going to be burst when the Chinese stop. The Russians have been doing this too, but their ruble collapsed, so they can't do this anymore. The Brazilians' economy has been collapsing, along with commodity prices we've been predicting would go down. Middle East is being hurt by falling oil prices and civil unrest. So it's really the Chinese are the last people doing this. And you're right, the smart people in the U.S., they see this coming. The smart people in China see this coming. So we want you to think like the smart money. We want your audience, people listening, don't listen to your everyday friends or listen to, you know, the typical media saying everything's okay and Janet Yellen's going to make everything okay. There's no way they can stop this stampede.
Well, let me ask you that question. I'm going to come out and give you the floor to break more of this down in the next long segment. You will tell people what's going on, and some other people will warn folks. Why won't the average successful person want to warn the general public? Is it because they want to have time to position themselves while still making money on the bubble before it implodes?
No, I think even most successful business people don't get it. Like you said, it's really the really smart money, the top 0.1%. That see this sort of thing. I mean, the typical millionaire is not going to see it. People are in bubble logic. I mean, everywhere I go,
I'm going to steal that.
I just lay this stuff out. It's just fact. Everything's in a bubble. They say it's not a bubble, and this economist says it's not a bubble. I throw up the thing and say, it looks like a bubble, quacks like a bubble. It's a bubble. This is the most bubbly time. The only more one was the tech bubble, and you can't compare it to that because that happened in
So you're saying it's Bubblegeddon. Bubblegeddon. We got to go to break.
We're on the march.
Bubblegeddon.
The empire's
when we
on
come
the
back,
run.
we're going to break down the graphs.
Alex.
And by the way, folks, our economy, they say, is growing at 0.2%. That is fake. We'll get Dent, who's an economics expert, to take on that. But I've had Dr. Paul Craig Roberts on, former head of policy at the Treasury. I've had Ron Paul on. I've had Von Mises Institute people on. John Williams has broken it all down. 2 to 3% actual negative. And that's with all this unlimited money printing, which they say is coming to an end. I don't know if that's true. We'll talk to Dent in a moment and get into why the elites are bunkering down or fleeing the West or any other bubble zone. But briefly, I saw this morning, and it takes us 4 days to turn around a new shirt printed up right here in America. A lot of our shirts are cotton from America, printed in America, sewn in America. But if people want them really inexpensive, they come from Mexico and places like that, then they're printed in America. This shirt will be. It'll take me a month to get it made in America. We're going to have a version that's made in America as well. But regardless, it gets the word out. Pac's son pulled upside-down flag T-shirt because it hurt someone's feelings. And this is a leftist organization. I would imagine they did it to, like, Down with America or something. And James Woods, the actor, with his millions of Twitter followers, started a big boycott of it. So they pulled the shirt. Well, I don't even know if that's a good idea. I mean, let people do what they want. But I thought, hey, I already had an idea for an upside-down American flag shirt. Because under federal law, under U.S. code, when the country's in crisis, when a ship's in crisis, when you're in distress, you fly the flag upside down. The flag should be flown upside down when the borders are open and world government's being announced and the president's acting more and more like a dictator. So we're going to have a limited edition. And by limited edition, I'm going to put it out I'll put it out to the end of the year. The announcement's made. And then we'll never make it again. It's a Save America shirt. And it's simply, if you're a radio listener, I'll describe it. You can go to Infowars.com to see it. And then it also funds our operation to help save America. It says in big bold letters, Save America, so people can understand what we're saying, so you don't get in a fist fight. Then under it, the American flag in black and white is upside down, and under that says United States Flag Code, Title 4, Chapter 1. The flag should never be displayed with the Union down, except as a signal of the dire distress in instances of extreme danger or life or property. Now is the time to fly the flag upside down. And when folks get mad at you, you say, listen, I love this country. Are we in distress? And they go, yes. That's what you're supposed to do. We need to get people's attention. And I'm going to wear this flag I'm sure the media will attack me, and I'll say, really? The country is in an emergency. What the flag stands for is on fire. We got communists every week burning American flags, blocking the highway down here, and attacking old people and stuff. They don't even get in trouble. The country's in trouble, folks, and I'm tired of it. So the Save America flag, we're going to sell this through the rest of 2015. It'll help support the InfoWar, and when they're gone, they're gone. And we will print this with a Made in America version and another one made in Mexico or whatever, where we can get them the quickest. But we've got black T-shirts in stock. We're ready to print them. They're going to start printing them in the next 2 days. They'll ship them to us from, Georgia again. And they'll be here by next week, and we will ship them out to you. Order today, InfoWarsStore.com. InfoWarsStore.com in the regular Patriot Apparel section. Some of the stuff in there is made in America. If you go to Made1776.com, that's the all 100% Made in America section of the site. Instead of the shirts costing $50 like Made in America, they cost $20 to $25. They're a lot less. I mean, a ball cap Made in America costs us $10, $12. Made in China, $1. Made in Mexico, $2. So we just offer both. You want to save money? Get it from Mexico or whatever? We got it. You want to get it from here? We got it. It does tend to be better quality Made in America, but to get this out quick, it's not made in the U.S. It is printed here in the U.S., but that doesn't matter. The point is, get the shirt, support the InfoWar. This will cause conversations. On the front, it says Save America, United States flag code, so people can say, hey, what's that mean? And you go, well, it means, the country's in distress, was flat upside down. Here's the law. Say, see the back. On the back, it says, our republic is in distress, upside down flag, ask me why, Infowars.com. And it's time to warn people. Folks always say, we should start a movement to fly flags upside down. Well, the problem with that is most people don't fly a flag except on Memorial Day or 4th of July, and your neighbors don't understand what's happening. This is a great way to get that conversation going. It's the whole point of the apparel we have is to start conversations and wear your colors proud. And now is the time to start wearing the flag upside down and, getting those conversations going. All right, going back to Harry Dent, I'll add one more time here. I want to talk about this briefly, and then I'll have the floor for the balance of the hour. You hear these ads, and I'm not against them. It's okay. Get your heirloom seeds free, just shipping charge, and you call it's $10. Well, to ship those seeds and handling's $4 to $5. Okay, fine. Why don't you just say $10 shipping included, and then you're really selling seeds for $5? I just don't like marketing schemes that aren't real. This is real. A book this size, I went and checked, $3 media mail. I don't even know if he ships it that way. He may ship it even better. And then at least $2 for a shipping department and handling the rest of it. You count the cost of a book. I bet the Demographic Cliff costs probably $3, $4 a print. He's losing money, and I know he's a successful writer and is a bestseller. So I got to ask Mr. Harry S. Dent, Jr., how are you offering a book where you lose money on it when it's already a bestseller? Do you just want to get it out to folks? Because everybody should take advantage of this at harrydentbook.com.
Yeah, we do, Alex. I mean, actually, we buy the book from the publisher, so it's more than $3. So we lose money on the book, and we break even on the shipping. We just know, that people get to know us. Somehow it'll benefit them and us down the road. That's so this is just, hey, you hear this, it sounds interesting. You're not going to have conviction in what I'm saying until you go in this book and look at our 4 key indicators and look at everything we're saying. Look at how the Japanese economy collapsed when we say it would, how the rest of the world is following in their footsteps. I mean, here, like you say, I go in a whole chapter on this. We got that demographic cycle I showed earlier, generation spending and not, that's the top one. We got next, I came up years later with a geopolitical cycle. Every 18 years things are great in the world, like 83 to 2000, and then we hit 9/11, and they've been terrible ever since. The geopolitical cycle is going to continue to get worse for the next 5 years. So anybody thinks all this terrorism and civil wars and Russia and Ukraine is over, this stuff's only going to get worse, and stock markets tend to be at half the valuations in a negative cycle. So this is another reality the market's not getting. Third, innovation cycles. We've seen the best of the internet. It's not that innovation is going to stop, but innovations matter when they move fully mainstream and affect everyday people, not just niche markets, where everybody's got the internet and broadband and an iPad, an iPhone, and a smartphone, and a this and that. And so we've seen the best gains from that. But finally, the most potent cycle I found, and only about 3 years ago, is a boom bust cycle that I used to follow on a rote 10-year cycle, and I finally found out it was actually tracked to sunspot cycles. And sunspot cycles are great because nobody understands them. And number two, scientists actually focus on predicting these cycles. They're not 10 years on average like the overall boom cycles have been in the last century. They're 8 to 13 years, so you have to get them right. And there's serious scientists that do. And they predicted the last sunspot cycle would peak in November, December of 2013, 14, and it peaked in February of 2015. So that's great for me. And this cycle, all four of these point down at the same time. This only happens once in a generation. It was the early to mid 70s this happened. That was the worst crisis we had back then, the worst stock crash, the worst recession. And then, of course, the early 30s, the Great Depression hit when all four of these cycles are down. So my research has evolved from demographics, but I found the other factors that really, really matter. And when all these four cycles point down, you need to understand this. You need to protect the assets you've gained out of this bubble.
I want to talk about how you do that, and I want you to walk through this. We're putting on screen an article from 6 years ago, London Guardian, where their Ministry of Defense came out, and the report's linked, Revolution, Flash Mobs, Brain Chips, A Grim Vision of the Future. Their military actually says everything you're saying. Our Pentagon, in deeper reports, says what you're saying. The truth is, as you said, the top 1% of the 1% do understand this. They won't tell the public. I want to ask you why. I wish this wasn't true, but undoubtedly, unless everything changes with all their weird computers and manipulation, we're going there, but now we see the signs of it. But before we go there, let me ask you this, Mr. Dent. What, in your view, is the real economy rate if they say it's 0.2%?
Well, we just put out an issue of our newsletter where we pretty much said it looks like we're already in recession starting in December or January. And the markets are acting like everything's fine. They're looking at lagging indicators like jobs and housing. Those are the last things to go. The leading indicators, capital investment, things like that have been going down. Retail sales have been miserable, and they keep blaming it on the weather. Well, the cold weather is months behind us, and they're still slow. So we're looking at the indicators that matter now, and they're saying we're not really coming out of this. In fact, it looks like we're going deeper in recession. So, again, nobody can say this. When I go on normal news programs, financial news, I got 2 or 3 minutes, and I can't say anything to convince anybody. Everybody else on there has some special interest. Stockbrokers can't tell people, or they'll sell their stocks and run. Real estate agents can't tell people the truth, or they won't buy a house. No economist can tell people the truth. So, that's why the only people I can affect are people that on a show like this where I get in front of you for a while, and if people will actually go to a seminar or read the book, because what I'm saying is very contrary. So even people who would like to tell people can't, because nobody would believe it anyway. So that's why we offer this free book. I want to show another chart you just pulled up. Again, what people don't understand, this is something never has happened in history. Ever since the Federal Reserve was created in 1913, they always manipulate short-term interest rates. You get a slowdown, you get a stock crash, or anything goes wrong, they push short-term rates to zero. They make money free to help stimulate lending. Those zero short-term rates mainly affect investment because investors will use that to leverage up. And so that causes speculation. What they've never done before on a mass scale is what this chart was showing. They have pushed long-term risk-free interest rates. This is a 10-year Treasury bond, the risk-free longer-term bond. And it used to be, before QE, you get 2% above this risk-free rate for taking a 10-year risk. Now they've pushed this down to zero. Now, people don't understand. The best economists do. If people understand, every financial asset, real estate, stocks, bonds, are directly affected by how low this risk-free rate. The difference between 2 and 0 is huge for mortgages and for the value of real estate. It's huge for the value of stocks when you project the earnings forward 10 years and discount them back to the present by that risk-free rate. It's a huge difference if it's 0 or 2%. So what the Federal Reserve and central banks have done around the world, again, unlike any crisis in the past, they've said the solution to this debt crisis, the solution to this giant financial bubble that they created in the 80s, 90s, and 2000s is to keep the bubble going forever and just to make it more insane. So They're calling this an economic